Throw those rascals in the truck bed and hitch up the trailer, Mama. It's time for another half-baked episode of Nature Calls.
Welcome everyone to the Nature Calls podcast. My name is Mr. Pete. I'm your host for the show. Elk season is right around the corner. Game cameras are out, plans for hunt camp are underway, and to celebrate, we are airing an award-winning short story by James McHugh titled Elk Hunting Day One, heard exclusively here on the Nature Calls podcast.
My pulse pinged at 150. My thighs pumped right on the edge of losing hydraulic pressure. The lining of my lungs burned. Were lungs supposed to burn from running downhill? That didn't sound right. The mountainside fell away from me like an overgrown ski slope crisscrossed in blown down trees, their rotting bark covered in thick, wet vegetation. Pine limbs took delight in whacking me in the face every few steps. I vaulted the trunks to avoid breaking a leg. Each landing was met by a tangle of knee-high palm leaves, plants I could not name. Rusty brown barbed wire was strung out like tripwires, the remnants of a rotted-out cow fence. The tiny circle from my headlamp bounced wildly before me. Night creatures played in my mind. Shadows on both sides of me became silhouettes of bears with open jaws, claws reaching out. It's 4 a.m, and I'm 50 years old and headed into an unknown ravine for the first time. In my pocket is an over-the-counter archery elk tag and a handful of granola bars. A half-dozen water bottles bulge from my backpack. There's no cell service, no GPS, no map, and no way of turning this claustrophobic death race around without looking like an over-the-hill geriatric who should be home with a blanket bunched around his neck. Welcome to day one of elk hunting. My 2 companions are younger than me by 20 years. They hurdle the trees with ease. I slide to a stop and listen to the night. How far ahead of me are they? No sounds reach my ear except the whomp, whomp, whomp of my straining heart. I hold my breath and listen, but any nocturnal echoes are swallowed by the tangle of leaves and dense trees. If I do survive this manic race, how in the hell am I supposed to haul 500 pounds of quick-spoiling meat up a 1,000-foot slope? I'm carrying a day pack just like the others. Do we hike out to the truck, get haul packs, and come back in here? That's insane. I have this thought about yelling for them to slow down, but we're supposedly sneaking in on elk. I resist the temptation. 2 weeks from now, I'll find myself right back here hunting solo, and not far from this very spot, I will listen to a full-grown man screaming hysterically over and over for his companions to come and find him. That's the strange fear I'm feeling right now, and I don't want to be that guy. I moved to Colorado the year before, got married, and over holiday dinners with her family found out that her nephew, Heston, wanted to hunt. Something inside him was missing. His caveman ticket needed to get punched. I get it. I didn't hunt until my late 30s. Heston is maybe 5'7", built like the Rock of Gibraltar, and takes his kids to church on Sundays. He likes to pry into people's private business. He's always asking, "How you doing, Uncle Jim?" whether I like it or not. Maybe it bothers me because his questions are always about 3 layers deeper than I want to go. At the bottom of the slope, we regroup. It's almost 5 a.m. Official hunting starts in half an hour. I'm shaking with exhaustion. My hands and face are streaked with red welts. It rained last night and I'm soaked from the thighs down. My feet squish inside my boots and we still have 3/4 of the hill to run down. All romanticized dreams of arrowing a genuine Rocky Mountain elk have blown up, and we're less than 30 minutes into the day. "We're late," Sam says with flinty dissatisfaction. He's our guide, Heston's church buddy. Farther down the hillside, we watch as a string of red LED lights bobble along the trail a couple of 100 yards ahead of us, hunters on their way to take the good spots. At the bottom of the ridge, we slow down at a wide patch of bare earth. The acidic odor of elk urine rises from the dirt and gathers thick in my nostrils. I look at Heston and touch the side of my nose with the flicker of a smile. A feeling close to sexual desire courses in my blood. The elk urine is a gift from God. It's fresh, maybe an hour old, maybe 6 hours. How many animals, cows or bulls? Which way were they going? Heston, Sam, and I stop on a hillside blanketed with sagebrush and foxtails. Huddled in the dirt and not caring any longer about staying dry, I lean back on my pack, binoculars up. I've hunted for years with a bow and never shot anything. Muzzle loader? Yes. Rifle? Yes. Not the bow. My hunt history has been centered on the wide-open mountain chains of Nevada, where glassing for elk and deer is a big deal, but down in this tree-covered canyon I can barely see over the next rise. Below us, a trickle of late summer water curves around boulders and moss-covered deadfall like the centerpiece of a banquet table. The creek banks are garnished with mountain lupine. The frost hasn't exacted its price on the blue, cup-like flower petals. My lungs fill with the wetness of last night's rain and sweet overtones of powder-white aspen bark. A mule deer buck and doe follow the creek upstream, their coats still slick in summer reds, the buck's thin forks covered in velvet. They pay us no attention. A bull bugles from the blacked-out timber and is answered by another, the tones so faint that I wonder if I'm imagining them. On the ridge to the east, the sight of grazing elk serves for breakfast. Silvery light reflects off their backs. There's a bull amongst the group of cows. I count 5 points on one side of his antlers and 6 on the other. The 4-foot spread looks like small twigs arranged against the hillside shadows. He tilts his head back and bugles. I can't hear him inside the wind. Today is Heston's first day of hunting, heck, his first hour, and he's already had a cow and calf within 10 yards. The problem was that he failed to get his arrow knocked before she spooked. He's walking in a circle and high on adrenaline, eyes like 2 fried eggs, right hand shaking, left hand gripped tightly on the bow, arrow still knocked on the string. His dark hair sticks straight out from under a ball cap. Watching him, I wish he'd unknock the arrow and sit down. Nope. Instead, he scrambles down the creek bank, leaps across 2 boulders, and moves quickly into a canyon full of black timber. His face is turned to the tree line, eyes searching for the missing cow as he vanishes into the pines. Sam and I watch him go. Curiosity and maybe a little jealousy fill the air. Chasing elk into their beds is not usually advised. Sam folds his arms over his chest, hands flexing over muscles. He knows these woods. He's not a professional guide, but someone who can be counted on if things go awry. His eyes click across the landscape before fixing on the point where Heston disappeared. "What's he up to?" he asked me quietly. "Heck if I know," I said with a shrug. From my pack, I dig out a granola bar and tear the wrapper open, handing half to Sam. He's taking matters into his own hands, I guess. Sam thought a second and said, "What if he wanders off and gets lost back there?" Both of us seem to be tuned into the same wavelength. What if he gets turned around and ends up miles from here and we have no idea where to look? "Solid possibility," I said, and even as I said it, a pang hit under my ribs. Heston, in some ways, is like a child out here. You don't let him out of your sight, not that he isn't capable, but he's untested. That's the word of the day, untested. Heston is high on elk fever and running through the woods with a knocked arrow on his bow, looking for something to shoot. What could possibly go wrong? Heston's wife and 3 kids are waiting at home for him to return in 2 days. What am I supposed to tell his wife when I arrive there empty-handed? In my head, I'm seeing her blank face as I start rehearsing the first 2 lines of my death speech. The speech better be Oscar-worthy and full of details about how we made him walk between the 2 of us, but how he snuck off when we weren't looking and was accidentally eaten by bears. A reasonable lie. There's plenty of bear sign here, mini pizza-sized piles of bear scat laced with berries and grass. The aspen trunks all around here are laddered in claw marks. There's talk between Sam and me of going in after Heston. Maybe we should split up and cover more ground. If he pops out and we're not waiting here, he'll wander off in another direction looking for us. If we split up, then there's the chance that one of us might also get lost. In the end, we decide to slowly work our way up the canyon side by side in Heston's direction. As expected, the pines are thick and dark, allowing less than 50 feet of view in any direction. An hour later, the three of us are back together. Heston did indeed find the elk, ran right into their midst, and once again didn't get his bow up quick enough for a shot. By noon, the air is warm. Mosquitoes buzz in and out of sunlight columns. Sam leaves us and hikes out. Heston and I settled in to wait for the evening hunt. Lunch is a plastic tray of spaghetti and meatballs and preservatives. Tastes pretty good. I eat with a plastic fork and afterward bury the tray and fork in the ground. Before you get too judgmental, dear listener, remember that I was born in the 1900s with rotary phones and black and white television screens. Old habits die hard. Burying trash is what we did in the olden days. But as a side note, I did check my buried trash 2 weeks later and found that a bear had indeed dug up the remains of my spaghetti and licked it clean. I bagged the plastic at that time and took it out with me. As the late afternoon shadows settled on us, we set ourselves up for an ambush alongside a trail that led from the beds to the meadow. We waited and waited and waited until the end of legal hunting hours came and went without seeing another elk. By now, we're 15 hours into day one without an animal to show for it. Tired and dehydrated, we start for the truck. Just before reaching the ski slope, we turn back one last time to glass for elk. They were in the same place we saw them that morning, shadowy rectangles moving in and out of diminishing light on the far side of the canyon. A waddling black bear emerged from dark timber a couple of 100 yards below us, its rear end shaped like a Super Duty rickshaw. The sight made my guts weak, knowing that I had lain around that afternoon with my spaghetti-tinged breath blowing wet rings into the animal's well-tuned nose. Fear is part of hunting. I have a fear of the night. I also fear being mauled by a hungry bear, and while I'm at it, I have a fear of shooting an elk and being mauled by a bear while dressing out the elk. Who doesn't? There's an edginess in this game. Maybe you bag an elk, maybe the bear bags the elk, maybe the bear bags you while you're bagging the elk. This is why I ran down the mountain in the darkness this morning with equal parts of fear and excitement pounding in my chest. Welcome to elk hunting in September in Colorado.
Dick Hatfield here. We're happy to announce a new sponsor of the International Hort Club, Bernard Dehydrated Water. Bernard Dehydrated Water is easy to use. Simply empty the contents of the can into a gallon of water. Stir until dissolved. Chill and serve. That's Bernard Dehydrated Water, now available where things are sold.
Our musical guests for this episode are a group of young musicians native to Bakersfield, California. The band is called the Soda Crackers. Their sound is distinct, and their heritage is Western swing and the Bakersfield sound. These guys are absolutely dynamite. I think they're awesome, and they like nothing more than seeing people on the dance floor. So here we go. We've cleared back some chairs and invited our studio audience to join on in. So let me introduce to you the Soda Crackers with Going Broke, Living Rich.
Well, I'm going broke, living rich. I I just can't keep my hands off this old rent. Well, I'm going broke, living rich. My last dollar just got spent. I'm going broke, living rich. Well, I just can't keep track of that paycheck of mine. When I'm out on the town, it's a matter of time. Cowboy suits and big cigars, I'm down to my last dime. I always seem to cross that line. Well, I'm going broke, living rich. I just can't keep my hands off this old rent. Well, I'm going broke, living rich. My last dollar just got spent. I'm going broke, living rich. Just can't keep track of that paycheck of mine. When I'm out on the town, it's a matter of time. Cowboy suits and big cigars, I'm down to my last dime. I always seem to cross that line. Well, I'm going broke, living rich. I just can't keep my hands off this old rent. Well, I'm going broke, living rich. My last dollar just got spent. I'm going broke, living rich. Yes, I'm going broke, living rich.
Are you one of those people who have nothing wrong with you? Then you should know about Domino. Domino is the only non-prescription medicine designed specifically for those who have nothing wrong with them. So when people say, "You look good," you simply tell them, "I take 2 Domino a day, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Then put a little vanilla behind my ears and I'm good for the day." Ask your doctor if Domino is right or wrong for you. Then see your local pharmacist or the Domino drugstore for this introductory offer of the economy-sized Domino for only $19.95. Act now.
Nature Calls is now the official soundtrack to over 10,000 public restrooms across the nation. Way to go, America.
Nature Calls weather report for the visually impaired, brought to you by the Football Referees Association. Remember, if we didn't see it, it didn't happen. Now, for today's weather report.
A rather large man in a rumpled suit coat is standing in front of a map of Wahoo County, Colorado. He's working his jaws while pretending to smile at the camera, his double chin bouncing right along. He now waves a hand at the map and simultaneously presses an almost invisible clicker in his palm. The map behind him changes, and a large orange ball appears. The ball has a cartoon face and looks very angry. All around the map appear large white numbers with no apparent order to them. This is followed by more waving of the arms by the fat man and an aerial assault of large red arrows flying west to east. The large fat man waves his arms several more times as if swatting flies and offers another fake smile. The map turns dark blue. A gray ball appears in the corner with a few haze clouds surrounding it. The fat man disappears out of view.
Tune in again at this same time tomorrow for the visually impaired weather report.
Welcome to Outdoors Confessionals. I'm your host, Father Daniel O'Flannery, coming to you live from the Cathedral of St. Ranierius. If you're new here, this is a call-in program on the Nature Calls podcast, where outdoors women and men can dial our hotline and leave their secret confessions. We play their recordings for our audience, so you can know how to pray for and hold up your fellow hunters and fishermen and women in their weaknesses. So let's get started, shall we, with our first confession?
Hello, Father. Bless me, for I have done wrong. I bought a wheelchair last week at the Goodwill and pretended to be paralyzed so I could fish off this specially designed dock just for the handicapped people. I got out there and reeled me in a 5-pound largemouth. When I got it close, I acted like I was having trouble, so a man jumped in and helped me net it to the dock. Heck, I got so excited I nearly stood up and blown the whole thing. Then after a bit, as I was wheeling myself and all my crap back to the car, I guilted that same fella into pushing me up the ramp and all the way across the parking lot to my car. I didn't stop there. No, sir. I got him to heft me up into the driver's seat and put my wheelchair and stuff in the trunk. Best day of fishing ever.
Well, my son, this is a level of fishing wickedness that boggles my senses. Until you feel truly bad in your heart about pretending to be handicapped and then committing to never do it again, well, there can certainly be no forgiveness for your deeds. I hope I never catch you out there, by gosh. If I was you, I'd consider donating that fish and the wheelchair to your nearest homeless shelter. That's a start.
I lied to my wife, Your Holy Eminence. Told her I was away on a business trip for 3 days, but really, I was holed up and hunting turkeys down by the river. When she caught me, I grew concerned she might sell my guns. So I lied a second time, telling her I was having an affair with a woman in the next town. She laughed in my face and dared me to prove it. So, I'm about 2 steps away from committing adultery just to save the last of my turkey season and to prove her that I can be just as thoughtless as the next guy.
Yeah, the violation of the holy commitment to fidelity in marriage is definitely a sin, no question about it, as well as the lying part. And you might go to purgatory for both of those. However, I will say this for you. You should be congratulated for attempting to save your hunting season. I always like to say, you never know when this turkey might be your last turkey. The clock on the wall says we have time for one more confession today.
My husband always complains about me not ever catching enough fish, so I finally got tired of hearing it and got him back by driving over a dead skunk in the road. Just as the tires hit its squishy little body, I twisted the steering wheel just enough, causing that pile of nastiness to fly up in the air and land inside the truck on his lap. The jerk deserved it. Revenge, in my eyes, never felt so sweet and stank so hard.
Revenge is best left for God to sort out. I'm not sure if he takes pleasure in you landing a dead skunk on your husband's lap, but I wish I'd been there to see the look on his face. That's all we have time for today. Tune in next time for more outdoor confessionals with me, Father Daniel O'Flannery.
I hope that all y'all enjoyed the soda crackers as much as our audience did. Now, you got to understand that Bakersfield is a long way from Nashville. Bakersfield is a hot, sprawling town on the southern tip of the San Joaquin Valley. And it's a short distance from Los Angeles, but 1 million miles away from the music scene there, and about 2 million miles from the Nashville sound. In this twangy corner of America, a rough-edge music was born, the Bakersfield sound, a style of guitar and fiddle playing and slide guitars and vocals rooted in blue-collar work and farmlands with influences of mariachi music and Texas swing. So, with that in mind, here's the Soda Crackers with their second song, Two-Step Solution, right here on Nature Calls.
I've got a two-step solution for my 12-step problem. One little dance is all I'll ever need. I've got a two-step solution for my 12-step problem. One little dance is all I'll ever need. I'll be putting down the bottle and holding your hand. You'll be my woman and I'll be your man. I've got a two-step solution for my 12-step problem. One little dance is all I'll ever need. Solution for my 12-step problem. One little dance is all I'll ever need. I've got a two-step solution for my 12-step problem. One little dance is all I'll ever need. I won't need another drink, girl. I'm in love with you. We'll keep on dancing until the night is through. I've got a two-step solution for my 12-step problem. One little dance is all I'll ever need. One little dance is all I'll ever need.
Welcome to Bro Hunter Speed Dating, where we listen in on a huntin' bro who is hoping to scout for that special woman to share his life with and propose marriage, all in under 2 minutes. Today's participant is Marcus, an elk hunter from Boise, who likes raw onions on his hamburgers and cuddling with bobcats. He doesn't like crowded Ferris wheels or birds with huge beaks. His speed dating match is Tiffany. She prefers men who like wearing spandex jeans while swimming with sea turtles. Her turnoffs include hand-churned butter and gasoline-powered lawnmowers. Let's listen in.
So Marcus, what was your childhood like?
We was born and reared to live off the land. I like hunting bears and elk and deer and turkeys and mountain goats and wolverines and ducks and geese and spearing carp. What do you do for fun?
I like to shop.
For guns? Please say for guns.
No, certainly not. We don't have guns. I shop for shoes. My favorites are Christian Louboutin pumps with the shiny red soles. My girlfriends get incredibly jealous when I wear them. I just love it. What's your favorite shoes?
Camo-colored boots with waffle stomper soles. My buds also get stupid jealous.
Do you like vacations? I like Monte Carlo, Rome, and Paris, especially Paris in the spring. It's the best. I also like Rio and London. Where do you like to go for vacations?
Well, my bros and I go to the sand flats for a week, if that counts. We find us some cow pies to cook over. If we're lucky, we bag a coyote for dinner. We got this guy in town who'll pay $2 for every rattlesnake we catch. So we go out and bring in a couple of oil drums full of them. That's what I call a working vacation.
What are you looking for in a relationship?
A hunt woman. She's got to love a scoped Winchester and hiking game trails all day long.
Don't you think she should have some of her own interests, like shopping or dining out or yoga?
Why? If she's a hunting with me, isn't that enough?
Time's up, you two. Tune in next time when we meet Jeremy, an obsessed archery hunter from Bend, Oregon, who's looking for love on Bro Hunter Speed Dating.
Well, it's once again time to load the dogs in the front and kids in the back and get some wind in my hair. It's been fun wasting time with y'all. Nature Calls is a production of Siegfried and Sonatube Publishing. Our sound engineer is Scat Bear, post-production by Marlo Wingerback, and produced by Hammer Good Times. Recording was made at Dandelion Studios in Wahoo County, Colorado. The show writers are James McHugh and Dick Hatfield. We'd like to thank once again our musical guests, the Soda Crackers, for being on the show. Check out their music on YouTube, Apple Music, and Spotify. And until next time, I'm Mr. Pete saying adios for Nature Calls.